I picked up this hobby when I was a child, under the influence of my father. I do it mainly for relaxation and peace of mind. I like to think it does something good for one's temper and character. I'm not very good at it, but then you don't need to be Joseph Schooling to enjoy swimming. 勤学 means diligence in studies. As an educator and researcher, 勤学 is a virtue that I aspire to. I'm Yang Peidong, Assistant Professor at the Humanities and Social Studies Education Academic Group here at NIE. I'm a sociologist, and I research on international student mobility, about why and how young people pursue education, especially higher education, across borders. I'm interested in these students' experiences of educational mobility, particularly the social-cultural aspects. My teaching at NIE focuses on the academic content courses in secondary social studies. One of the core values in my teaching philosophy is that I see students as active partners in learning, not as passive recipients of ready handouts. The task of a teacher is to help students make sense of what they already know and guide their own knowledge-seeking endeavors. So I treat students as partners in the shared journey of learning, and this empowers them and gives them a sense of ownership of their learning.
Stepping into Dr. Young's class is always an eye-opening experience because of how much we learn and take away from the discussions. He uses a discussion framework that he coins the something to ask, something to share model. This model works by getting us to engage with the readings through raising questions about it and relating it to something interesting that we can share. Dr. Young is an excellent facilitator of our classroom discussions, and he's able to bring our thinking to a higher level by showing us the larger theories and conceptual frameworks behind the questions that we ask. Dr. Young is able to create a classroom culture that encourages collaborative conversations. As Dr. Young once mentioned to me, everyone is limited by their own perspective, and someone else might know something that we don't. And I think this is where his discussion models really shines through. My experience using discussion in Dr. Young's class has trained me to be a confident and critical thinker, and I'm determined to use discussion in my future social studies classrooms.
Dr. Young utilizes a partially flipped classroom where core and supplementary readings on the week's topics are uploaded for us to read. Thus, we undergo self-directed learning as we read these core readings together with other articles so that we gain a more comprehensive viewpoint of a certain issue. This student-centric approach enables us to become co-creators of knowledge, while enabling himself to accurately identify and address the misconceptions and knowledge gaps students may have. The nature of the module allowed me to conduct in-depth research with undergraduate students from low SES families. Though data collection and coding was challenging, I gained greater insight on their perceptions on opportunities in universities, such as in CCAs, living in hall, going for exchange, which students often take for granted. This made me realize that social class is not entrenched, and in the same manner as these undergraduates who have achieved social mobility through diligence and resilience, students in secondary schools from less privileged backgrounds can have hope too.
Our Humanities and Social Science Research Program was a project on the exploratory study of the sense of belonging of international scholars, which was to focus on scholars from Indonesia and China, and we sent out a survey to 80 different scholars before conducting face-to-face interviews with some of them. After conducting the face-to-face interviews, we were then able to gain some insights into the various factors which could affect their sense of belonging, such as nationality, leadership opportunities, and the school curriculum.
As our expert mentor, Dr. Young helped us to better understand the different aspects of social science research. His advice and prompt feedback allow us to have a clearer picture of our research direction and have a better understanding of our research results. Under his mentorship, we were able to grow as open-minded leaders and be able to produce a more impactful research paper.
We're very thankful for this opportunity to carry out this research under the program, and we're very grateful for Dr. Young's guidance, as without him we would not be able to publish such a paper and be able to enhance our research skills.
I believe in trying different methods and pedagogies to enhance my teaching activities to make them more meaningful and effective. Sometimes this involves incorporating learning technologies and digital tools. I collaborated with the in-learning team to create an interactive online course to help PGDE Social Studies student teachers to enhance their academic content knowledge. This course provided a virtual learning journey for students and allowed for them to discuss and debate in virtual spaces. Working with the in-learning team has been a pleasure. They are competent, professional, and very helpful. Along the way, they gave me various useful suggestions, many of which I eventually adopted. So I would say they were really the co-creators of my course. Ultimately, what I aim to achieve in my teaching is to turn my students into independent learners and critical thinkers. Teaching is not really about what the teacher does. It is about what the learner ends up capable of.